And well, the top story this hour, in China, the death toll from the coronavirus outbreak has risen to 81 and more than 2,835 have been infected so far. With the situation worsening, Wuhan's mayor has compounded fears by confirming that 1,000 more cases could be detected in the near future. Chinese Premier Li Keqiang has now arrived in Wuhan. He was seen carrying out inspections of what look like medical facilities in the city. Li is the head of the government's coronavirus task force and the second most powerful man in China after Xi Jinping. Reports say that the Lunar New Year holiday will be extended by 3 days until the 2nd of February to deal with the virus outbreak. China's Finance Ministry and Health Commission have now extended 60.33 billion yuan, which is nearly $9 billion, to contain the virus outbreak. 769 new cases have been reported. No new deaths were confirmed outside the Hubei province. 24 new fatalities have brought the national total up to 81. Meanwhile, World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom announced that he was headed to China to assist with response efforts to the coronavirus. China has banned wild animal trade until the situation is brought under control. This comes as reports suggest that the virus spread from illegal market which traded live animals. There have also been claims that snakes are the source of this coronavirus. China's health minister, however, has said that people can spread it before they have symptoms, that is in the incubation period. China's National Health Commission earlier said that the transmission ability of the coronavirus is getting stronger and that the number of infections could continue to rise. In a press briefing, authorities have said that knowledge of the new virus is limited. Meanwhile, Beijing has 68 confirmed cases of the Wuhan virus. Shanghai government has also reported the city's first death from the virus. Tianjin, a city of about 15 million, has now become the second major city to suspend long-distance buses that enter and leave the city. This comes a day after Beijing announced a similar measure. Public attractions such as Beijing's Forbidden City, Shanghai Disneyland and a section of the Great Wall have been closed off as a precautionary measure. Hubei province in central China is the epicenter of this outbreak. 14 cities in Hubei, including Wuhan, have been completely locked down. They have also ordered nationwide detection measures on flights, buses and trains. Meanwhile, Hong Kong has confirmed its 8th case of coronavirus with 77 more suspected cases. Hong Kong has declared the outbreak an emergency, and this is the highest level health warning in the semi-autonomous region. All schools have been closed till the 17th of February. Hong Kong Disneyland and Ocean Park, two of the city's biggest theme parks, have closed due to the coronavirus outbreak. While Chief Executive Carrie Lam has urged the public to be rational and fight the outbreak together, protesters in Hong Kong set alight a facility housing the quarantined patients. The fire was later put out by firefighters and the damage appeared to be confined to the lobby area. Hundreds of riot police also moved in, arresting at least one person. Meanwhile, a study has revealed that each infected person is passing the disease on to 2 to 3 people on an average. At the current transmission rate, the spread of the disease depends on the effectiveness of control measures. To be able to contain the epidemic and turn the tide of infections, control measures would have to halt the transmission in at least 60% of the cases. Well, WION's correspondent Patrick Walk brings us more details from Beijing.
Yeah, well, one of the things that they are scrambling to do right now is to find the origin of the virus. As a matter of fact, there's been a lot of discussion about the link to bats, and several scientists have already pointed out that there is a similarity between the genetic makeup of the virus with coronaviruses that are found in bats. It's not clear at the moment whether or not it went directly from bats to humans, or whether or not there was an intermediary. And there is a discussion about whether or not it may have passed on from bats to snakes and from snakes on to humans. But the reality is they know very little about this virus right now. If they do find the source, that will help them know more about what the threat is exactly and potentially help them come up with a vaccine. Yeah, that's right. I mean, the government has called for a nationwide effort to isolate the disease. That includes, reporting cases of people that are showing symptoms on public transport. And of course, they've closed down a lot of attractions. The temples that are very popular here in Beijing, a lot of attractions like the Forbidden City and Disneyland as well. So it's really been a miserable time for people, and it just doesn't really feel like Chinese New Year at all. In terms of economic impact, though, we are going to have to wait and see. Of course, there's been a reaction in markets, as we've seen, particularly in places like Hong Kong and here in China. But, businesses have already been closed for a number of days, and in the weeks leading up to Chinese New Year, as you can imagine, there's a real slowdown generally leading up to this important holiday. So we may not get a real sense of the impact until after this Lunar New Year break, but it certainly seems it's going to be significant. And if we're going to compare it with SARS, estimates put the cost of SARS on a global scale at as much as $100 billion and shaved off 1% of China's GDP that year.
And well, the Indian government is also on high alert over the coronavirus threat. The latest coming in is that one person has been suspected to have been infected with the deadly virus in Bihar. A girl from Bihar's Vapra who returned from China was admitted to the ICU after she displayed worrying symptoms similar to the coronavirus infection. Another patient in Rajasthan has also been placed under observation. The suspected patient recently returned from China after completing a master's course. The patient was shifted to an isolated ward, and his family members are also being screened for the virus. As per reports, 18 travellers have recently arrived from China in 4 districts of Rajasthan. Meanwhile, India has requested China to permit Indians to leave the city of Wuhan. More than 250 Indian students have been stranded in Wuhan, which is the epicenter of the outbreak. According to reports, the families of the students have said that they are stranded with food supplies running out. Most of the students did not manage to get out before the travel restrictions were put in place. Meanwhile, the Indian embassy in Beijing has responded to queries, saying that they are in constant contact with the student community in Wuhan. WION exclusively spoke to some of the Indian students in Wuhan who pleaded with joined hands to get them evacuated.
हमारी यही अपील है भारतीय सरकार से और सभी भारतीय नागरिकों से कि इसमें हमारा सहयोग करें और सभी लोगों को सुरक्षित भारत पहुंचाने का इंतजाम किया जाए।
पूरी वुहान सिटी बंद हो चुकी है। खाने का भी कोई चांसेस नहीं लग रहे। जो हम लोगों के पास स्टॉक था वो भी अब पूरा खत्म होने जा रहा है और यहाँ पे मार्केटें भी सब बंद हो चुकी है। एयरपोर्ट बंद है, रेलवे स्टेशंस बंद है। सो हम लोग यहाँ से बाहर नहीं निकल सकते।
And while the parents of the students stranded in Wuhan are worried about the well-being of their children, one of the parents in Bengaluru, whose daughter studies in Wuhan, said that she could not manage to come back home despite multiple attempts, and now there is an environment of fear and uncertainty.
It is same thing, and it is getting little worse only because mentally they are totally disturbed. Sitting inside and what's happening outside also they can't know. The only thing is this media, phone, they are updating, but they are getting update from embassy as well as from the university they are getting it. And from that consultancy people also trying to give the updates, what's happening like that.
And while there have been no confirmed cases of coronavirus reported in India till now, the Indian authorities have stepped up vigilance to control the spread. The ministry has also set up a 24/7 call centre under the National Centre for Disease Control. Citizens can call 9111 239 78046 to get any information about the mysterious virus and its symptoms. The numbers are flashing on your television screens. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry has also extended its travel advisory to 12 more airports in addition to the earlier 7 airports. 19 Indian airports are now thermal screening travellers arriving from China. Private doctors have been asked to alert authorities if they observe symptoms of coronavirus in any of their patients. And All India Institute of Medical Sciences in Delhi has prepared an isolation ward for possible patients. Any citizen displaying symptoms of the virus infection in China can contact the Indian Embassy through 2 numbers. An airport health office number has also been put out for those feeling sick on their return flights.